I want to talk with you a little bit about the help that Church Growth Services was for us when we went through our vision, building faith together, capital campaign and construction project back in 2019 here through 2020. We're still working on it a little bit, but the actual construction work is all done. I want to give you a little bit of history of our relationship and tell you a little bit about what a blessing they've been to us. I have a pastor friend from another church in this area who has used Church Growth Services a number of times, and he would constantly sing their praises to me. Well, when we got ready to begin our vision project, and I mentioned it to him one day, he says, "You have got to contact Church Growth Services. They can be such a big help to you." Well, I was a little hesitant to do that. I grew up in an era where you just put like some kind of a thermometer up on the wall, you preached a few messages, and you started collecting offerings, and you kind of moved, the red line up the thermometer or something like that. And I'd been involved in a couple of building projects where that's exactly what we'd done, and it had gone okay. And so I was a little hesitant to use Church Growth Services. But this pastor friend of mine pushed it so hard with me that I finally decided I would contact them and at least talk to them a little bit. And so I did. And Bill and Mike came to one of our meetings, our staff meetings, where we were talking about the vision, Building Faith Together project. And they began to ask us questions about what we were hoping to accomplish, and then told us a little bit about their company and what they were willing to do for us. After they left, I was a little more comfortable with them, but we still had to think about it and pray about it quite a bit. That's quite an undertaking because as you know, or I'm sure we'll find out, they don't do this for free. And when I started thinking about their fees, their percentage, whatever that they get for doing something like this, there's that hesitancy there. That's money that could go into the building project, and that hesitancy, I had it. We had it. But we talked through it and decided after prayer and discussion that maybe this was something we ought to pursue a little more fully. So we brought them back. We talked more about the project. We let them tell us what they could do for us. They started showing us examples of what they could do for us. And as we went through this process, I became more and more excited about what they could actually do to help us out. So we eventually took them on board, and I'll tell you what, it was probably the best decision we've made in regards to raising the funds for Vision Building Faith Together. Mike became our lead person to help us out, and his assistant, Rennie, did a lot of the communications with us, and not only did they come in and evaluate our church financially and even spiritually and put together a plan for us. They evaluated the building plan and helped us decide whether it was even a feasible plan. They just did so many things. I just can't begin to tell you how many things they did that helped us in the entire project, not just the financial side, but the entire project. So we decided to go ahead and sign up with them. We took it to the church. Church approved it. We signed the contracts, and that began a process where we would meet almost every week with them on the phone, and Mike would talk us through the different aspects of the fundraising program. They printed it all out for us and sent it to us ahead of time. We had the plan, how to set up committees to do different things. They thought of things we would never think of, like having hospitality committees that helped set up these fellowship times where we'd get everybody together and we would give them coffee and some desserts, and then we would talk about the project. And they just did so many things to help us. They evaluated our finances. They recognized and contacted some of our key financial supporters here at the church. They even suggested some grants that we could apply for, or at least a grant we could apply for here in Indiana that helped pay for some of their fees. I mean, they just helped us in so many ways. And what happened is when all was said and done, not only did we have an amount that we were able to set as a goal, we had the assurance from them that we could make that amount, and it was a sizable amount. It was over $1 million. we had the confidence we could actually make that amount with the size of church that we are. We're not a big church. We're just an average sized church. And not only could we make that goal, they gave us a process, a step-by-step process of how to go about attaining that goal. And I will tell you today, we are about 2/3 of the way through our capital campaign. And at about 2/3 of the way through the capital campaign, not quite, but we are already 3/4 of the way through the fundraising. We're actually ahead of schedule, and this has been a tough year. This is 2020, the year of COVID. Churches have had to shut down. Finances have been hard to come by, and we are still ahead on our gathering of funds to finance our Vision Building Faith Together campaign. I think one of the biggest blessings of this whole process was the way it took pressure off of me. Yes, I had to preach some messages, and I had to occasionally give some updates and things like that, but they set up a support staff here at the church that did so much of the legwork and background work to help me, and that took a load off of me. And then also just the statistics they came up with, the plan, all of that together just took a ton of pressure off of me when it came to raising the funds for this. I can't begin to sing the praises of Church Growth Services enough. I highly recommend them. I already have recommended them to other pastors who are looking into building projects, and I think I'm aware of one church that's actually using them right now. I highly recommend Bill and Mike and the staff there at Church Growth Services. If I could liken them to use a metaphor or something, to just liken them to something that might help you think through their services, the first thing that comes to my mind is the word Sherpa. Yeah, like the Sherpa that leads people on mountain climbing expeditions. That's kind of how I picture the guys and gals at Church Growth Services. We had a mountain in front of us. It was called Vision, Building Faith Together. We believed it was God's will for us. We wanted to accomplish it, but we just didn't know for sure financially whether we could, and even if we could, how we could. And Mike and his team, Mike was our lead man, and his team literally guided us step by step through the entire process to the point where, like I said, we're 3/4 of the way through paying for this over $1 million project that we've undertaken here, and we're going to make it. And we're going to have this whole thing paid off within the 3-year span, I believe, that they set up for us. And I'll tell you what, it's just a blessing, a huge blessing that Church Growth Services was and is to us. They still follow up. Mike still follows up with me every now and then just to see how things are going. And that is so encouraging. We've actually become good friends. So I highly recommend Church Growth Services, and hope that you'll be able to have the benefit of their expertise and the blessings that come with that as we have experienced.